This is day 4 out of 7 in a week of preparing to homeschool. It's a series that I'm putting together for new homeschool parents who are looking for guidance from people who have done it, who have been in the trenches for at least 10 years. I've been in the trenches now for 12 years officially, and my children are in high school, doing well, and I just want to give back to the community because a lot of people helped me when I was getting started. So here we go. Day 1 was legal foundations and making sure that you are registered according to the law of the land. Day 2 was about curriculum, core subjects. Day 3 was about curriculum enrichment activities. And this is day 4. This brings us to day 4. So by the end of this video, you will have received 3 different quick wins, one for morning, afternoon, and evening. And don't take more than 30 minutes for each session. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. You don't want to go down too deep. Start small, stay flexible, and let's get started. Now, this is called smart scheduling. And somebody told me a long time ago, do not have a schedule, have a routine. Okay, that's good, but I want to go one step further and say schedule with anchors. What are anchors? You're going to have meals, right? A meal is an anchor. It's something that you have to set in the ground so you know, okay, we got to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you got to put those on the daily schedule. Then you have birthdays, anniversaries, trips, um, family events, different things that need to go on the calendar, but we're going to get there. The point is, you want to be smart when you schedule things. You want to have a daily routine. So, this is when you create it in the morning, right? This is your morning session. You block your ideal day for different things. For instance, um, when are your kids freshest? Are they fresh in the morning? Then that's the time to teach them the core subjects. How about in the afternoon? Could you do a project with them outside? Could you do some outside time? Outside, I know a family who lives in Minnesota, and the mom said, we go outside in the middle of the day, no matter what the temperature is, but between like 1 and 3, they go outside, and that's when they have a little bit of sunshine, they have the most light in the day, and the morning is frigid, it's very, very cold. The evening time is very, very cold. So they have that afternoon block of time when they go outside. So you choose your daily flow according to your weather. You've got movement breaks that you need to build in. So, movement breaks where you let your kids run around, play with a little bouncy ball around the house. We used to have BBB, we called it bouncy ball break, and they loved it. They loved it. Reading time. When are your kids subdued where they can be in your lap or next to you and they're not gonna burst with energy? um, that's when you should schedule your reading time. And again, outside time, project time. Create a visual schedule for the children. If you love your Google Calendar and your digital calendar, is fine, but they need something, especially if they're small. I would say even at up to 14, they need something that they can see. Get a little weekly schedule that you can just dry erase and write with a marker on it every week. And also, very important, I cannot stress this enough. This was my mistake, okay? So learn from my mistake. Plan buffer time between activities. I would schedule so many things in a day. It was crazy, and I would drive myself crazy. The kids didn't care because they're like, we're not doing X, Y, Z. We don't care. But mommy cares because mommy planned to do that. And now she's not doing it and they're not doing it. And so mommy's going crazy. So plan less than what you think and then plan buffer time in between your activities because kids are kids. They're not going to move at the speed of your brain, they're not going to move at the speed of an adult. And so you need those buffer moments. So if you know you got to be out of the house by 2 o'clock so you can get to orchestra by a certain time, Start preparing at 1:30. Start loading things up in the car at 1:30 because you never know what will happen. Like you might forget a violin. Like it happened to us one time. We went to orchestra without a violin. Okay. That brings us to the afternoon um, scheduling time. Weekly flow planning. So you had the morning, kind of you understand, the morning session was about the day. When do I do these things in the day? Now we are in the afternoon and we're doing the weekly flow. I'm going to give you an example. Monday, new concept introduction. Some curriculum is even built that way. This is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And so day 1 is when they hit you with something new. And then day 2, you rehearse it, you repeat it, you review it. Then day 3, they give you something else and they add something new and so on. So Monday, new concept introduction. Tuesday, field trip or a co-op. Wednesday, project work. A lot of umbrella schools will ask you for a portfolio. So if your kids are working on projects that you take pictures of, or that you have to I don't know, film, that's the time to do your project. Thursday, that could be your day to review or to catch up on things. Friday, tests and presentations. This is just an example, just to give you an idea of how your week needs to have a certain flow to it. So you kind of know what to expect, right? The last thing you want to do is fly by the seat of your pants. Yeah, we bought some books. Yeah, we're in this club and we just kind of do whatever we want. I cannot function like that. If that's your thing, if unschooling is your thing, then fine. Fine. But it's nice to have a flow to your week so you know exactly what to expect. And then, of course, you need to plan a weekly prep time. You, as the educator, must have a little something for yourself in the evening, in the morning, whenever it works for you, where you sit down with your week and you say, okay, we're going to do this and this and this. What do I need for that? Do I need to order anything for this? And then you want to schedule your regular review and planning session. You want to block out time for that. Maybe you need to consult with your spouse, and say, "Hey, we need to discuss something. So let's plan together." The quick win would be to set up a Sunday planning routine. A lot of people like to plan on Sunday evening. That's when the week starts anyway, and so they can get everything organized. So that is your afternoon session for day 4. And that brings us to evening. So in the evening, you will mark important dates on your monthly and yearly calendar. I'm talking about co-op terms, right? So if you are in a co-op, you're going to have semesters, you're going to have a spring break, you're going to have a fall break. This is the time to mark all these dates in the calendar. Don't make the mistake that I made where I just said, oh, yeah, of course I know. Spring break will come. They will let me know, hey, we'll see you in 2 weeks. But then you'll have doctor's appointments, you'll have other things. And if that's a Tuesday where you don't go to co-op because it's spring break and you didn't mark it on your calendar, you're not going to know that that day is available. Maybe you'll have a request from another family, hey, can we get together on this day because they too are on a full break. And you won't know. You'll be like, oh, but we are in co-op that day because you forgot to mark the spring break or the fall break. So take the time to mark these important dates on your calendar. Co-op term, testing windows, right? So when you start to take your children out for these testing centers, you need to have that on your calendar. Field trips, right? These field trips are announced way in advance, so take the advantage. As soon as you get an email about something, put it on the calendar. Breaks, vacations. Your spouse might have, the person that actually has a job outside the home might have certain times in the year when he can take vacation and not others. So mark those down. Don't just think, oh, I know it's in June and we don't homeschool in June. Don't just think like that because things happen and you're going to be a little behind and you're going to be like, oh, I want to plan, for an extra week in June. forgetting that that's actually running into that interval where, daddy can go on vacation. Also, if you have quarterly assessments, like I told you, I did not test my children a whole lot at home. I prepared them for these evaluations outside the home. But if you have these quarterly assessments, definitely put those on the calendar. Schedule curriculum reviews, right? So before you go to any kind of testing outside the home, you need to have a day or two or a whole week. Take a whole week before that and sort of prepare your children, test your children, make sure that they're ready to go. And your quick win would be to create a digital calendar alert. I love my digital calendar. I love my alerts. I live by the clock. I'm serious. I even give myself a 15-minute warning to do this or a 30-minute, when my daughter has harp lessons online, I have an alarm for that day of the week with 15 minutes before, and it always beeps, and it reminds me that she's got harp because I forget. She forgets, and she's a teenager, right? She should know, but she forgets too. Power tips. Are you ready for some power tips? I promised you by the end of the video you'll know some power tips. Time block in 30 to 40-minute chunks. I wouldn't go more than 45 minutes for a time block of academic learning or even really anything else. Just kind of keep it flexible, but 30 to 45 minutes. Charlotte Mason used to say 20 minutes. 20 minutes for math, 20 minutes for reading, 20 minutes for a nature lesson. That was a Charlotte Mason method. We kind of go 30 to 45 because we've been used to, a bigger group, and I don't know how many kids you have. It depends. It depends on everybody's situation. Include transition times. Very, very important. Transitions, if you listen to Brendan Burchard, transitions are more important than the actual thing because you have to move yourself. You have to move the little kids in your care from this activity to this activity, and they they need time to transition. They cannot go like Brendan, reset. You can do that as an adult, but the kids don't have the emotional intelligence to know, okay, math is over, now we're going to do PE, or PE is over, and then they're going to start, I don't want to do math, whatever. So you want to make sure that you include your transition times in there where you can kind of sort of coax them into the next activity. Plan for interruptions. Now, I'm not talking about answering the phone. I'm not talking about checking your emails. I'm talking about, let's say you kind of know that grandma's in the hospital and you're waiting for the doctor to call you kind of thing. Then make sure that you are ready to pick up the phone or you're available for a friend who needs you, other things. I don't know, church, activities, clubs. Front load your important subjects. Okay, so when you have important subjects that you are working on, just put those in the front. Just take care of that first. And keep Fridays light. That is a good tip for anybody. Friday needs to be a day where things kind of wind down from the school activities and you kind of clean the house, prepare some meals so you don't have to run around all weekend, just going to the grocery store and just wasting your whole weekend on groceries and preparing for the next. Just do it all on Friday. Get it all done on Friday, and then you can relax as a family. Saturday, Sunday, put the books away. Put the books away Saturday and Sunday and just relax and be a family. So the last scheduling secrets. The best schedule is one you'll actually follow. 2, include your kids in the planning process. The older they are, the more you should include them. Number 3, review and adjust monthly. I cannot stress that enough. Things change, so review, adjust. Number 4, build in margin for life events. Number 5, do not overschedule. Protect your family time. And with that, I say goodbye. I'll see you in the next video. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir.